Guys, what's going on? This is Meaty Guy Doug and Daddy Joel. This is the Punisher's Paintball YouTube channel, and today we are bringing you a fresh, hot, new comparison between the MacDev GTX new release and the Eclipse Geo R5. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought, try to like the video, let us know any other suggestions of comparisons you want to see with the GTX, and of course, if you are interested in either one of these markers, you can grab them from the link below in the description. Alright, Joel, so today's the day. We've been waiting on getting these for a little bit. I will get out in front of it and say that thus far in the new era of MacDev, guys, they have been good so far in 2025. There's a very easy shipping experience, easy purchasing experience from our side. No hiccups getting them here, and I'm excited to actually test this thing and see how it's going. So, without too much further ado, let's get into this official marker comparison, and let us start off with packaging. Scoot this up on here.
I got fresh delivery, Doug.
That's so. Federico was really big on telling us that they were doing a pizza box for the actual cardboard box portion. It's a pizza box, which I actually fuck with. I like that, so I'm here for it. As always with the Eclipse little slip thing. Goodbye. Otherwise, it's going to open the same. This little kind of cardboard hinge deal that's going on. Get into the actual cases. Let's see. That doesn't seem too different from the typical MacDev cases we've seen over the years.
No, I think it's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
It has a carry handle.
Is that new?
I apologize, guys. I'm not feeling all that great.
Also carry handle.
Good zippers. And it's got like a carbon fiber finish to it.
Okay.
Nice case. Nice case.
Good case. I will say it's not as hard as the Eclipse case, so it's not going to be quite as durable, but they both have the same roughly sizing, good zippers, carry handle, which is awesome, heather finish over here. As far as what you get inside of it, you get your playing card for Eclipse. Very nice detailed, and is it a color manual as well, or is it just detailed? I forget.
It's colored.
Yep, detailed color manual. You get your barrel sock, you get your nice little parts kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, you got 6 different slots for barrel backs and inserts and such. They give you 2. It comes with, I'm trying to think which one is on that marker and which one is here.
8.5 and an 8.9.
Yep, 8.5 and 8.9, so really good. And then over here, you got your spot for the actual marker and then your wrenches. Joel, what do you got over there?
Yeah, so the new MacDev GTX comes with 2 barrel inserts, a 6.85 and a 6.93. It comes with this handy dandy charger, which if you guys watch our initial video on this bad boy,
they really are hyped about the charger.
Yeah, they're really excited about it. So it's a multi-charger, has a bunch of different cords, so you can use it for a multitude of different things.
He said that you can get like hours and hours of charging other things off of just one full charge of that battery. And it's also a flashlight.
And you can also use it as a flashlight. So a pretty nice touch there for MacDev. I wish that it had more insert positions.
Yeah,
it also comes
more
with
space.
A USB-C cable for your charging on the gun, because the gun is wired or charge it. It's a charge. It's not a.
It's a rechargeable gun. There, you cannot replace the batteries.
Thank you, Doug. And then let's see, what is this?
That's the parts kit.
Oh, okay, cool.
I like that the parts kit comes in like a tackle box type deal.
Yes.
I've always hated the plastic bag thing that Eclipse does. I think that's just a small step they could make to improve.
Doug, they were listening.
They were listening.
We got lube, not a ton of it. That's kind of a downside, but we've got labeled O-rings.
Labeled oh. MacDev,
and
guys, that's
screws.
awesome.
Wow, this is honestly probably the closest parts kit that I've had
to a Planet kit, right?
To a Planet kit.
And it's still
not a Planet kit, but it's close.
But it comes in the box. Honestly, Joel, here, I'm going to hit you with this. I would love to call it a wash, but I can't, simply because you can hold more barrel inserts in the Planet case. But if they could, I would actually call this a wash.
Second thing of lube.
Okay, so you get 2 loops.
And basically, it's a MacDev branded Allen key set
that you could get at a hardware store.
But
I like that it's all together like that.
But good touch.
I like that. It's like got some nice rubber grip on it.
I'm not done.
He's got even more.
Barrel cover.
Branded, of course.
Yes.
Startup kit.
Quick start guide.
And then I'm assuming any other manuals would be digital.
This is very good.
Good job, MacDev.
Impressed.
Highly impressed. All right, well, it's going to go to Eclipse, guys, for packaging, but that's very, very close.
It does look nice, but still.
Simply, this is a harder case, and it's got more slots for barrel inserts. I have to be fair. It's going to go to
Eclipse. And the parts kit is close.
Very close.
To give credit, it's the closest thing that we found to Planet without being Planet. As far as the other gun manufacturers go.
100%.
So
Despite Planet getting the point for that, Please don't let that be the thing that discourages you from getting the MacDev if you like the other features of it, because that is a solid kit.
Correct.
Barrel.
Go ahead.
We did agree that we think the barrel tip on this thing is ugly, but
That's why I'm chuckling.
I hate the back of the S63 more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. And I'm sorry, what type of inserts does it take? Power inserts?
No, it's a shift 3 barrel system.
So it's proprietary. Okay.
Correct.
So
And you can get different inserts. And what's unique about the shift 3 is that you have to, insert-wise, undo your barrel
it's fully
tip.
set.
Well, it's backwards. So it comes out the
Okay.
front of the back.
Okay.
So theoretically, you can put your barrel tip in and say you want to change out a insert, you could just undo the barrel tip. And the barrel tip
Is it reverse
nice,
threaded, like Planet?
big, thick, yes. Nice, big, thick threads. So it would be as simple as just going like this without having to unscrew your autococker thread.
okay.
And as you can see, it looks like a Lux thread, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
part
it
of
does.
the Lux idol as far as
Yeah,
why they
yeah,
had
yeah.
to change it. Boom, pop your insert back in. From a functionality standpoint,
I don't
think
hate
it's-
it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
No, I think it's good too.
Here, wait, can we do overall? Is it going to be shorter? Is it 15 and a half?
You know,
or
I
is it
don't know if
14?
it's 14 and a half or 14, but that's a good question that
And you know
we
what?
should answer.
While you're at it, I'm sorry, take your insert out when you get a chance too, because I want to see which insert is longer. So the Planet barrel will be an inch longer. So
Half an inch. This is a 14 and a half. This is a true 14.
I think Joel needs to revisit inches and half inches. 'Cause some of us, that's it. But yeah, I want to see if which actual control bore is longer.
I think it's a 8-inch or 7-inch. It's the same.
Okay, so control bore is the same. So I mean, and really, that's what matters, guys. The overall length is kind of neither here nor there.
I actually like a shorter barrel.
You know what? I have no issue with either one, dude. Honestly,
If it wasn't for this really ugly tip,
I think the tip is fine. I actually think the back of the shaft on this thing is really attractive. I like what they've done with it. I like the cutouts. I am going to give the point to Planet only because you can get power inserts and it's not proprietary. So it's a little more, like if you already have a barrel kit of power inserts,
That's a really good argument.
then I will give the point. But honestly, guys, functionality-wise and appearance, I do like that better, but I have to be fair. I'm going to give the point to the Geo R5.
Just because of the inserts, yeah.
Yep.
I'd agree with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement so far.
Aesthetically, I like the Planet barrel better.
100%. Feed neck. I'm going to go with actually the GTX.
Oh, really?
I think it's a little more low profile. I think it's more attractive. It's a little more sleek. I am not big. I don't know. I don't like the Planet feed necks. I think this, like, I get it. It's big and you can get a grip on it, whatever. But I had a very easy time getting the loader on that and getting it all set. Maybe for me it's just because it's a right-handed screw, whereas over with the Planet guns it's a left-hand screw.
See,
I don't like that.
Oh, okay. See, I'm the opposite. When I'm holding my gun, I like being able to adjust the thumb wheel on my left side and use the lever on my right while I've got it kind of setting on my knee. So for that reason, I'm picking the Planet. I do agree with you. It is more low profile.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
the thumb wheel on the Planet gun is just a little bit larger. And for me, having like big fingers,
You know what, to be specific too, I'm looking at them. This one might actually literally be shorter. I just feel like it's really fucking wide from like looking at it this way. You know what I mean? Whereas this is just, it's more kind of petite.
yes, it
Yeah.
does look slightly taller, but I'm not. I'm judging it based upon how I deal with things. I'm right-handed, and I like that the thumb wheel's on the left side. But more importantly, I don't think that's going to make the judgment call. For the reason why I'm making the judgment call on that is because the thumb wheel itself is more textile.
Sure.
So it's easier for me to screw in and screw out to get that adjustment. That's the only reason for me.
So we'll disagree on that one.
All right.
We'll one for
1-1.
one that one.
Okay.
Eyes. I don't know. I don't remember much about the GTX eyes.
Okay, so here's something cool about MacDev. They feature it with the Prime XTS, and they moved it forward with their newer guns. It is a magnetic eye cover. Boom.
Love
Simple. Your eyes are right there. It's cable eyes, so not ribbon like a Lux. You've got your detent right there, and then the magnet that holds it into place. Very simple. This just pops back into place.
So from a servicing standpoint, like if
Very
you work
simple.
on them, you think it's easy?
Very simple.
But
yes.
you're also known to love the mirrored eye system of the R5. So you
Yes.
put them head to head. What do you think?
Whew, that's tough.
Because I don't work on these enough to really have an opinion. Because that didn't seem difficult to me at all.
No, it's not.
And it sounds like pretty low likelihood that you would rip a cable.
Yes, the cable on these is really thick. Oh, and I forgot. The other thing to mention is that there is a little plastic portion here where the eye sits into place here, okay, that keeps it away from the breech. It's almost like the eye pipe with the dye guns. There's a little plastic portion.
So even if you bust a ball or something, there's a better chance you won't have to actually clean your eyes.
What it does is, and I've seen this back when Uprising was using the Prime XTS, was they would actually just pour water in the breech and cycle the gun to clean it out, and it did. I'm going to give it to MacDev though.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really am, because I forgot about that little plastic piece. That, for me, is a game changer, because that allows me to take the bolt out, run a little bit of water through. All the electronics are back here, and they're, supposed to be
You have to hold the gun
resistant.
straight down, I'm sure, right? So just...
Yeah, so you just, like this, pour some water in there, take your swab, you're done. I really like that. And there has been a few times with the reflective system where you got to take the reflective system out and wipe it down.
Is that kind of a bitch?
It's not a bitch, but it's definitely a little bit easier with the GTX because you just take your swab and just run it through.
I'm going to default the points to Joel's opinion on that one because he works on them more, so that's going to be 2 points for MacDev.
Okay, alright. Next up, battery changing between the two. AA's on the Geo, wireless charging on this. I changed a few things on this. The battery on the power button and the I button on both of these is inset now, and it's harder to press, but it's higher quality rubber.
Okay.
I've noticed that. And then to access your USB-C charging port, on their previous guns, it was not flush, and it got flimsy really quick.
Okay, but
this is
like...
perfectly flush with the back of the grip, which is a game changer, in my opinion. So, if you like wireless charging, MacDev. If you don't like wireless charging, if it's me, I'm choosing the Geo.
I'm giving the point to the I don't like having to recharge a gun.
But with that said, the fact that it's USB-C and
you can plug it in your car on your way to the field, so
plus your wireless.
Oh, the battery itself too. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's part of the reason why they included that was so that.
Well, they know paintball players are dumb, so like.
Well, right. So, like, really what it boils down to, if you've got, like, an older Apple phone that doesn't have the USB-C, like a 14 and below, and you use a lightning charger in your car, what's cool is they have all the ports and everything that you need to be able to still charge that, your module, your battery module, and then be able to charge your gun at the field. So that is nice.
And the cool thing
I'm
too
still
about
giving
the
it to
module,
the Geo, but it is nice.
The cool thing about the module, like you could if you forgot to charge your gun, you could throw it on while everyone's like putting their gear on. Probably get enough juice for some points, whatever. If it really comes down to it, you could throw it on between points at practice. I wouldn't for an event. I'd recommend charging your shit the night before. If you don't do that, I can't save you. But for a practice, we know people bullshit a bunch between points. You could just throw your gun on the charge after you get air. So.
Right.
I'll say it's practical for being a rechargeable gun. I'm still giving the points to the R5.
Yeah. As far as rechargeability goes, I think this is the best rechargeable system that I've seen.
I agree. Trigger, that's tough. Let me see this thing. After you've been hacking all over it.
Sorry. It's really bad from the factory. I like the trigger on that one better.
I like the trigger on it. I've always liked MacDev triggers. I want Joel to work his magic on it, but out of the box, I'm going to go R5.
Oh. I've adjusted that one.
You have, but like I've shot enough R5s at this point. Like it's the CS2 trigger, so like I've been known to like.
So that's 5-way adjustable.
It is. You got more.
So you can adjust the face. You can adjust the position of the trigger face. With this one, it's 4-way adjustable, so you can't. I'm still giving it. I like the feel of this much better.
Really?
Yes. I like thin triggers, and the Planet guns are always thick triggers, and it just drives me nuts. I love Planet, and I love Planet guns. But that's one of the things that I don't like.
This is the only Planet trigger that I distinctly like, actually, out of all their guns.
Really?
The CS style trigger, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, touche. Well, then
true.
we're going to agree to disagree.
Board and programming. I don't have as much experience with the MacDevs, but just for the fact that this has buttons to scroll with, as opposed to using the trigger to do all that as you would with like the 180R or with like the Lux and Shocker platforms, I just think this style of programming is superior.
I would agree with that. I think this is close. I think that it's better than the die guns, the 5-way joystick of the die guns.
I hate the die programming.
And
I like
it seems
the
to be a little bit quicker and more responsive than the Lux Idle as far as the way, like when I'm cycling through. The Lux, it kind of pull the trigger and it kind of delays for a split second. This is very snappy. The only thing that I would say about the board/programming is the fact that the shot counter,
you have to turn the gun on to see it.
You have to go into programming to see it.
Oh, even though, okay, yeah.
But other than that, the board on this is really sick.
Plus,
I do
the
like
actual display is really nice on that too. It's
It
full
is.
color. It's
Yes. And
really
it's,
sick.
it's in a good spot. It's lower, so it's not as noticeable in the hand. And
yeah.
like but Lux fixed theirs with the grip, but we're not talking about the Lux right now.
That's
so.
a different video, Joel.
Yep, my bad. ASA.
ASA, I actually like the lever on that. And can it sit flat when it's open? Let me just see, because I know that's something people talk about. Yeah, you can sit your gun down flat when it's open, and that's what people kind of hated about like some of the old Luxes, is that it would sit like here and you couldn't set it down. I prefer that.
I do too.
I prefer that over the Pops.
And it's very slim, low profile.
Mm-hmm.
It's not crazy milled, but it fits from the profile perspective of the trigger. Perfectly.
I suppose they could mill it down. It's a little fat, but like I like it. Yeah. I like the functionality better. So I think we agree on that one.
Yeah, from a service standpoint, I think they're relatively easy to service too.
100%. Ergonomically, G5 or Geo R5.
Same here. Doug, go ahead.
I think ergonomically there are some things left to be desired. I think that was where they didn't put a lot of like detailed thought in with this marker. Like, what's the was the GT2 a different one? I like the ergonomics of the GT2 quite a bit.
Well, the GT2 and the Prime XTS were both different compared to that.
I'm just saying the last MacDev gun before this that I handled was the GT2, and I liked the way that felt in my hands. This just like, I wish this was like more of a grippy rubber up front. I do. I wish they would either make it longer if it's going to be this thick, or make it a little thinner. And I don't know, just the back grip as well. I wish it was more of like a rubber as opposed to
I'd agree with that.
Whatever this is. It's fine, but it's not. This could have been maybe milled in a little bit more, so like you can get up in it a little bit further. But yeah, ergonomically not my favorite. I do like the R5 when compared to the GTX.
So the Geo R5, a lot of people are talking about how spread out it is. Like Cody, for example, doesn't like how spread out the Geo R5 is compared to like the CS3 or the GTEC 180R or really any of the other guns. This definitively is the longest gun. It is really...
You know what I think it is too for me? I don't like that the foregrip has like a hump, whereas this is straight up and down, and like the shocker is straight up and down. It's got like a hump, like a...
Yeah. For me, I would agree with that. If I threw some tape on it, it wouldn't bother me.
It'd be better.
I actually really like it. One thing that drove me nuts about previous MacDev guns was the bolt, or the actual frame of the gun itself would come really far back.
Yep.
That drove me nuts. This feels very much more similar to like a CS3.
It almost kind of looks like a 180R. Like if I just real quick glance, because we had it placed next to the 180s.
Yeah.
You could mistake it very easily.
But I do agree with you. The grips, I think, are more for durability.
Sure.
And it feels ergonomically like if it was softer, it would feel good. It fits my hand perfectly. And I actually think it's a little bit too long, even for me.
Really? I didn't notice that. I'll say this for the sake of being funny. The curvature of that thing on the front is almost like a less intense Empire 6.
You think so?
It's way not that at all. Like it's really not that at all, but it makes me think of it because it's bowed out like that.
That's fair.
So, weight.
All right, let's do it.
You're tall. I'm gonna let you do that one.
Okay. Both have batteries in them. Well, the rechargeable battery.
One has no
MacDev GTX is 2 pounds, 3.6 ounces.
2 pounds, 3.6, and then you all heard it turn on. Battery is in there.
We're weighing both of these with the little ASA knob thing that we've got. 2 pounds, 0.3 ounces.
I don't remember what the first
3
one
pounds, 3 pounds, or 3 ounces lighter with the MacDev gun as compared to the Geo.
Sweet.
So
it's gonna go to the MacDev. Maintenance. Joel, you're up.
Geo.
Okay.
And there's a specific reason for that. Bolt system, not hard to maintenance on this gun. In order to access the HPR, you have to take this screw off, fold the grips back, and then there's a screw that brings the inline regulator out.
Okay.
The inline regulator is very simple to maintenance. It's literally just a piston, a spring, and a seat. So it's not hard to maintenance, but that extra step of having to take your grips off, for me, is maintenance. But then on the other hand, there you're 2 screws out to access the HPR on that. When it comes to the bolt system, they're very similar. Slight advantage to the Geo.
To the Geo?
Slight advantage, yes.
But shouldn't be the deal breaker if everything
No,
else
I would tie it, honestly. I would tie it because
when I go home and score this, am I giving it a 1 for 1? Or are we going to be technical about
1 for 1.
one?
Because it really, you know, it's impressed me with how this gun's shooting out in
Yeah, dude, that was
conditions. So
yeah, we did some shit, but
okay,
it's build quality, reliability. Okay.
Tech support's next.
So yeah, that's the thing is like it's. Now, mind you, I'm thinking way back to like the drones and clones and stuff when there was a bunch of solenoid issues with MacDev. I know that was kind of a different era for them. Since then, I don't think their markers have really had issues like that. Not that you've told me about, not that I've seen.
No. Pretty reliable.
I would say it's going to be pretty close. I don't want to just go on reputation and give it to Planet. I kind of want to give it a 1 for 1 for now, but
I have to give it to Planet. So I have to give it to Planet with the fact that there is a waiver that is. We haven't had enough time to test this gun.
That's fair. All right,
we know what the Geo is capable of. It's been out on the market long enough. This hasn't. For me, I'm going to give it to the Geo. But, you know, if we were to revisit this video in, you know, future videos and we test it all summer long and it does really well, then, you know, I'd say just as reliable, but definitely not more reliable.
I'll go with that.
Right. If anything, it's a wash, but advantage to the Geo.
I'll score it that way.
Tech support.
Planet Eclipse.
Planet Eclipse.
I have hope for MacDev going forward. Like I said, it's been good so far. We're only a month into the year, so
to be determined, guys.
Yes, TBD on that. But for now, it's going to go to Planet. They're always great at events. They're super quick, servicing stuff, getting it out, fun to work with. So credit to Planet on that one. But MacDev, I have hope for you guys.
Upgradability.
Does this have a Mac frame?
Yes, there is going to be a Mac frame capable of the MacDev GTX. So for that reason and that reason alone, I am going to pick the GTX on that. You can get different triggers for the Geo, but the fact that you can do a Mac frame with this, I think trumps the fact that you're going to have a different trigger.
Sure.
So
yeah,
for that reason,
I would say that you can play a whole different league at a more effective rate. Then yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, now we're going to talk about shot quality, paint handling, and efficiency. We're going to go outside, freeze our butts off for you guys, and we will see you guys back here in the studio once we're done to talk about value.
I hate y'all. All right, guys, so we're outside. Time for the comparison portion of this video. Got it turned on, Geo R5, Falcon Pro, very old from World Cup, very cold out here, 39 degrees. Ninja 77. This paint has been pretty small all day.
And we already chronoed both of these markers.
Yeah, these are they're both right around 300. I'm not doing it again, I'm sorry.
It's cold.
But this shot comparison. All right, so super thumpy, but really consistent, really smooth shot quality on that. Ergonomically, I have been known to say I actually really like how this thing feels in my hands. So I mean, so far I'm liking this, but let's compare it to the MacDev GTX here. There we go. So now I got this in my hands. Same setup. I will turn the marker on. Loader is already on. Oh.
You're good.
Oh, that was the gun turning
Yep,
off, right?
go ahead. Yeah.
All right, cool. So got the same air that we breathe, same paint, all from Cup, Falcon Pro, super cold, it's been sitting in the snow behind us. And yeah, MacDev GTX. Okay, so, I'm trying to think. Ergonomically, I don't know, shot quality wise, it's just so different. Like this is just really poppy, you know, and it's just really satisfying to shoot. Like I really like the way it feels. Love the way the thing looks. I don't know, we might have to discuss more once we actually go sit down, but.
Shot quality?
Shot quality, very poppy, totally different profile.
Which one are you picking? Picking the Geo, aren't you?
Unfortunately, probably, but like I like this. It's just like the Geo.
I do too.
It's just more steady.
The Geo, in my opinion's poofier as compared to the GTX.
Yeah.
But
and I mean,
swap me out here, Doug.
I'll let Joel here take them. Got that, and then let me grab that R5 from you.
I turned it off.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So I already did the brittle paint and already did brittle paint and efficiency with it.
Live. Let me swap you out. Totally different sound signatures.
I gotta turn this damn spire off because it drives me nuts.
It'll drive you nuts. There you go.
You know, I'm kind of surprised. So when I was shooting the GTX by itself, I kind of thought that it was going to be a lot poppier than when I shot it next to the Geo, but I actually think that it's not that far off. It's definitely poppier without a doubt.
It feels very different to me, yeah.
It's just a much different shot. It's kind of like an in-between of a Geo R5 and a CS3 as far as the way the GTX shoots.
Yeah.
The Geo R5 obviously is one of the smoothest shooting guns on the market. And so for that reason, you know, shot quality-wise, if you're a guy that likes the smoothest shot possible, you're going to pick the Geo. For me, personally, God, I don't know.
It's tough, right? Because they're so different, but I like them both.
Yes, so I would say, oh God, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a wash.
Yeah, dude.
In all honesty, I'm gonna give it a wash.
I'm fine with that, honestly.
Because when I shoot the Geo, it almost feels like I'm not shooting full velocity, and so for that reason, I don't like the Geo. This gives me a little bit more feedback.
Yep, which I like.
It's still smoother than like when I was shooting my CS3.
Yep.
But it's definitely more poppy like a CS3 as compared to the Geo, but it's not as poppy as a CS3 in my opinion. As far as efficiency goes, the Geo is going to win out of the two. The GTX, we only have tested in the cold weather so far, but we only got right around 1,200 shots. We tested this in the middle of summertime, and we got like 1,600 to 1,700 shots, so that is definitely a big difference between the two.
We'll test it again in the warm weather, but it's probably not going to quite live up.
We're still going to say efficiency overall. Geo's going to win. And then last but not least, brittle paint test. Honestly,
dude, flying colors.
This thing did great. Check out our video regarding the brittle paint test. It shot a full bag of Valken paint that was breaking from waist height with no issues. Obviously, we know the Geo has no issues when it comes to paint handling.
So that's a wash.
So I'm going to give it a wash because both of these are going to excel when it comes to paint handling. So really, it boils down to we got to talk about value.
And we will do that back inside. Yeah,
we're going to do that back inside. So we'll see you guys at the studio.
We're back. It was cold. I hated it, but you know what? Thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed with the MacDev GTX. That was really tough to kind of decide which we liked more in terms of like the shot quality, stuff like that. That was hard.
So I said that it was really close. We turned off the camera. We shot another bag of balls through both. I think I'm going to take, if I have to, I'm going to put points on the Geo regarding shot quality.
I am too. It just feels a little finer, a little more refined, a little... It's a concise thump, right? Whereas this is just it's a little more punchy, poppy, if you will, which I like. That's why it's tough to call. I like both, and they're different. That's like liking two different desserts. It's just any given day kind of thing. But I think overall, we're gonna pick the R5 for the shot quality just because it is that much nicer.
Yeah.
But man, that was like, again, if all the other points match what you want, and you say you really like the MacDev for everything else it has, but we say that the shot quality is better on the R5, it's not that much better that should deter you. So I actually really like the way it shot. And
I did too. It's definitely not as poppy as the Prime XTS. No. And it's not as smooth as the GT2 from MacDev. If you're a MacDev fan and you're watching this, it's in between, and I like that hybrid shot, right? Like
I do too.
It's if I was going to compare it to a Planet Gun, like I said while we were out there, it's in between the Geo and the CS3.
I would agree with that. Paint handling, dude, like a dream. We did multiple different videos when we were over there of shooting really cold weather, stupid brittle paint. We had the Valken that was brittle at cup, and it's been sitting back here since November. It is now the end of January, okay? Been sitting, it's brittle on its own. Then we had it outside for 20, 30 minutes, sitting in a literal pile of snow. Not a single ball was chopped today.
Yep, for sure.
So by either gun, it's a wash. It's a 1-for-1.
And then efficiency, like I had already mentioned, efficiency-wise, we're about 1,200 shots on this. It was cold. We were underboard. So we'll have to do a better test, but we tested the Geo in the middle of summertime. Unfortunately, we can't control when the gun's released, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, we will be doing another follow-up efficiency test when we are able to control the variables a little bit more, aka the temperature, and redo that. But for now, we've got to obviously give a big
points
upper
will go
hand
to the Geo R5.
Value, Doug. $150 cheaper for this compared to the Geo.
Immediately the GTX. This is not that much better that I could justify $150 extra. It's not. It's not.
I thought we were going to have a debate.
No. Nope. Nope. This is close enough on all fronts for me that if $150, that's a couple of cases of paint. I'd rather just go shoot.
Wow.
Paint. Yeah. I actually like the GTX a lot.
If we're talking about strictly value, I'm going to agree with you.
The stars have aligned. Look
If
at
these
that.
guns were the same price, I'm going to go with Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, if they were the same price, I'd go for the R5. But
Yeah.
if I'm saving the money and shooting paint instead, nothing wrong with the GTX.
Yes. Like I've always said, MacDev has good guns, but we couldn't justify, questionability of the customer service.
Which is why we haven't really carried them consistently.
Correct. And we've talked about this multiple times. If this is the first time that you guys are watching this, go back to our original MacDev GTX video that we did shooting it at World Cup. But with that said, basically it came down to customer service. MacDev was more than did their fair share of owning the problem and said that they're trying to turn a new page.
Yep.
We will see with time. So far, like you said at the beginning of the video, they've done a really good job of handling everything in a timely fashion, no problems whatsoever, no hiccups. The gun itself is amazing. Did really, really well today in cold weather testing. So yeah, if I'm just comparing the two, I'm not thinking about tech support companies and all that stuff. I'm picking the GTX for $150 cheaper.
Yep.
If they're the same price, I'm going to go with something that I know is going to be a little bit softer shooting, a little bit more efficient, and everything else like that. But to your point, justifying the extra $150 worth of value, to me, I can't.
I can't.
So
I simply can't. Well, guys, there you have it. There is your... Honestly, I think the scores at the end of this are going to be pretty tight, so we'll put them up, don't worry. But thank you guys for sticking around. Please let us know some other comparisons you want to see. We got a whole slew of comparisons we want to do with this thing. Don't worry.
and let us know your opinion on it.
Seriously, yeah, if you guys are picking them up, we want to know how they're working out there in the field. So please let us know in the comments. Thank you for sticking around. Again, link is in the description to pick up either one of these, and we will see you guys in the next comparison video.
Thanks, guys.